Okay. When I do Zoom Live, I got to remember to switch it over to public. So anyway, goodness to you. And I say goodness because I don't know whether you're watching morning, afternoon, or evening. But isn't it great to have good in front of your salutation? Yes. Welcome to Gift Friday. I created it because so often we hear people say TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. But I say, what allure does Friday have to the person who took their last breath on Thursday? Therefore, I use what I learned in Psalm 92:2, and that is, it is good to proclaim your unfailing love in the morning, your faithfulness in the evening. Therefore, that allows me to think about, instead of TGIF, I use TGIT, and that is, thank God it's today, and TGIT, thank God it's tonight. Thus, I also get to use Matthew 6:34. So don't worry about for tomorrow. For tomorrow will bring its own worries. TGIF. TGIT, thank God it's tonight. Today's trouble is enough for today. TGIT, thank God it's today, because darkness always precedes the light. So I offer instead another use for TGIF, and that is trusting God is free. Trusting God is free. Think about what it costs to be blessed with the greatest gift of the day. Waking up. Doesn't cost you a dime. And that still moves us into realizing that we can do a little bit of math, some subtraction and some addition. Let's subtract the T from the front of TGIF and put it at the end and get GIFT. Then we get what we should really be giving thanks for, and that is the fact that GIFT, God is for today. Thus, Gift Friday is the online sharing of one of my original poems and its possible uses to inspire audiences online or in person or in spirit, because you have to have it within yourself. Each poem will then be my gift to you. So here you'll hear me read and share it, this week's gift. Then I'll drop the poem in the thread on Facebook and LinkedIn so you can download your own colorful keepsake copy. This week's poem is from my book, A Poet in Every Prophet. A book that reminds and encourages any writer that your gift cannot be measured by public approval. The words you put on paper are gifted to you from God as only you can express them. You may not be a prophet by the dictionary definition, yet there are times where your words foretell the future. So above all else, and above all things, consider each poem you write as good, for it is an expression through you for someone who you may never know. And I write that because so often I was once, artist in residence at Purdue University's Black Cultural Center's Haraka Writers. And it's so cool to hear young people, young poets say, what do you think about this poem? And I always said it's good. And you didn't read it yet, Mr. King. And I said, no, because I'm going to read it, but it's good because it's through you. That's why I call a poet. I even dedicated the book to my Haraka writers because I call them the young poets. Look at the title on the book. All is in small letters until you get to the word prophet, and you see P-O-E-T. The word poet is in prophet. So when God gifts you to write a poem, it's good. When you write a song, it's good because it's a message that's coming through you, and we don't know who it's going to. So, meanwhile, you've heard me say before, never let a man-made calendar stifle your celebration of those you love or the things that you do. That said, on the calendar for upcoming celebration is Black History Month. So I've chosen a poem that speaks to the plight of being black in America. It's called In My Fantasy. In my fantasy, I'm looking out at you, and I only see your eyes, your smiles, your head bobbing or twisting in agreement. I hear you breathing. I hear your breathing, muffled laughter turned into outbursts of joy. Your grunts, there we go. Your grunts of affirmation, encouraging applause. Wait, Now I feel your breathing, handshakes and hugs. And oh, I smell your body's fragrance. Some of you are wearing perfume, some cologne. A few of you have on a fresh, new, natural scent. I smell baby oil, hand and body lotion. Hey, some of you have on blue. That's my favorite color. White, silver, red, green, purple. And you're loving me because I'm touching an emotion that you can feel. I'm touching an emotion you can feel. You're right here with me because you feel like I'm just talking to you with that last poem. You're thinking of all the people you can share this message with and lift their spirit and remind them that we are all so special and important to one another's lives and success. And you feel our connection. You hear me putting words and thoughts into your mouths. You hear me putting your thoughts into words. See, for in my fantasy, you don't see me as a black man. As the introduction in the book will claim, I was in a pretty militant mood in 2002. See, a poet in every prophet chronicalizes the poems I wrote according to the year from 2001 to 2011. So it's never an annual theme. I just, whatever wrote in that year, I put in there. In 2002, I was being pretty black and being pretty militant and observant of being black in America. Yet this poem is not just about being black, certainly as we fast forward to 2025. It's told through the eyes of optimism, only to find yourself being stereotyped and having your dreams smashed. For you can exchange the word black man with any and every ethnicity, gender, educational level, size, religion, age, marital status, and connected to the biblical principle of a hero being only honored everywhere but in his hometown. Yet it also connects to choosing your messengers carefully. Think about how often you've been willing to take someone else's advice based on how little you knew of them versus the track record of the person or profile that you're familiar with. And what are the stories of the young people, of the people what are the stories of the people who have snatched a young person's dream away by telling them, you'll never amount to anything because you're fill in that blank. You see, when you meet this type of person, instead what I want you to do is recognize that they don't see the blessing in you because they can't see the worthiness in themselves to be able to speak with you. That's why some get excited when they see celebrities. They don't think they can actually talk with them. So they just hope to get a glimpse or an autograph. Remember the Samaritan woman who couldn't believe that Jesus found her worthy to speak to at the well? The woman was surprised, but Jews refused to have anything to do with Samaritans. She said to Jesus, "You're a Jew and I'm a Samaritan woman. Why are you asking me for water?" So think about that person who says you will never amount to anything because you're blank. When you see that person, recognize that they don't see the blessing in you because they can't see the worthiness in themselves to be able to speak with you. When you see yourself as worthy, you'll see others in the same light and find yourself able to help them do what we all enjoyed about doing as we celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and that is to dream. Dare to recognize everyone as your messenger, for we all can learn from one another. And that is still my fantasy. I'm Sporty King, and I wish you a happy Gift Friday. Have a safe weekend, and remember that God is for today, and that's not a fantasy, that's for real. God bless you, and peace. Ciao.